This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
You set the gold standard for your business. Your website should do the same. Wix puts you at the helm so you can enjoy the creative freedom of designing your site just the way you want. Want someone to bounce your ideas off? Talk with AI to create a beautiful site together. Generate on-brand content, images, media, and simply change or fine-tune any of it along the way. Whatever your business, manage it from one place and tie it all together with a personalized domain name. Gear up for success with a brand that says you best. You can do it yourself on Wix.
In the Champions League quarterfinals, every decisive moment gives you goosebumps.
I get those goosebumps every time.
Arsenal have been ruthless.
The UEFA Champions League quarterfinals. Stream every match live, exclusively on Paramount+.
Hello and welcome to Overtime Hockey Talk. My name is Mark Paul. Justin Baker joining me from his bunker. And yeah, how is it down there? Are you like worried about the nukes still, or?
Listen, I got plenty of canned goods, so you can join me anytime.
Yes, perfect. You're prepped for the playoffs. You don't have to go anywhere. Playoffs are going to start in 10 days? Oh no, what is it? The 20th or something like that? It starts on.
Dude, yeah,
I'm
I'm pumped.
2 weeks out. Yeah, we're getting close. So on today's show, we are just going to talk playoff races all day long. We would be remiss if we didn't at least mention Ovechkin's like breaking the small record. Not a very small. Nobody really cares about it. Everyone knew that it would be broken someday. One of those kind of records. Really easy to do.
Record.
Like, a couple other people will break it here soon.
Dude, quietly, nobody even noticed that he broke Jaromir Jagr's most game-winning goals record, and it just.
Oh, I didn't even see that either.
Yeah,
most game-winning
136,
goals.
I think, is what it was.
Eventually, a game-winning goal is just like happened to score the second goal in a 5-1 win. Eventually, you score enough goals, you have to have that record too. You would think. But yes, like unbelievable that I don't even think that it's not crazy that he broke it now. Like we knew that he would break this record for a few years. The crazy thing is that he did it this season after breaking his leg and everything that he had to go through. And the fact that it was like, the Capitals seem like they're not really going to be super competitive. They're just going to be going for this record. And lo and behold, not only are they going for this record, but they're in first place in the East. And that is almost a guarantee that's how it will end up. They'll get the home ice advantage through the entire first 3 rounds of the playoffs, should they stay in that long. And it's crazy. I love that not only was he chasing that record, but they're also doing incredible. Like it's not like they're third to last in the East and he's just bucketing all these garbage goals and okay, cool, you beat the record. Like this is fantastic. They could win. They legitimately have a shot at winning the cup. And that's what's so fun.
And so let me ask you too, if you're Washington, right, are you thinking about the President's Trophy, or maybe are you looking at this now that the chase is done and thinking, you know what, let's rest up, right? Let's rest Ovi a few games here or there. You're going to start putting them in the box a little bit and say, you know what,
be the smart thing to do. A little bit of management on their players. Yeah, I think.
But is he going to come back and say, you know what, to hell with that? I want 900. I want 900, baby.
Yeah, but he'll get 900 whenever. Like he's going to get it. I think you go, do you want to win the cup or do you want to pad your stats? And I think Ovechkin would say, I want to win the cup. Now I have this record. Let's start talking about the cup. And I actually think it was very important that it happened with, 6 games left of the season, 5 games left of the season.
Yeah.
Because now you can shift your focus. Like it's not, remember when Matthews is going for 70 goals and it was like the last game of the season. So you got to give the guy a chance to score 70, play him in that last game. But in reality, the best thing for him would have been to shut him down probably 2 games prior to that and just not had him play at the end of the year.
Sure, yeah.
You got to let him go for 70. So it's good that he broke this record. Now you got to play the long game for the playoffs.
Just think about the mental exhaustion, right? That comes with something like this, right? He's been chasing it. I'm sure he's been going full throttle, 120% since he came back from the broken leg. And now mentally he can decompress for at least a week, man, and just be like, all right, it's done. Luckily for them, they've got 3 days off before their next game on Thursday. So he's probably going to be drunk for 2 of those days and then get back to it, man.
Yes. It was such a fun chase. Very few. I think what it reminded me of a little bit was in, what was it, like 99 or 98 or whatever, when it was but Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa going for the home run record. Like it had those vibes to it. I'm just going to watch this random Islanders Washington game that means nothing to me, but I have to watch it because I have to see if he can do it in this game. And like the Chicago game, once I saw he had one, I was like, all right, I got to watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch
Chicago, he could have got a hat trick, right?
He could have done it.
Yeah.
But I do think he foregoed the empty net opportunity. Instead, Ryan Leonard's, God, should I score? Am I supposed to score here? Gets his first NHL goal. Pretty great. All right. Congrats, Ovechkin. Beautiful thing for hockey, I think, just to have a huge record like that broken and a new generation of like kids that get to see somebody do something that nobody thought possible. Truly, no one thought anyone would come close to breaking that record.
He didn't even, I think, what was it, 5-6 years ago, they had an interview with him on TSN, and they were like, so you think you could break it? He's like, no, it'll never be broken. No chance.
Yeah. No, good on him. But now we have to talk some playoff races because some of these are starting to get a little funky, like real funky in the Eastern Conference. I want to start there. I want to start with, I think it was some guys on TNT said that the Panthers are purposefully tanking so that they could play the Leafs in the first round. And of course you have Ottawa, who's 6-3-1 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. They beat the Panthers. They're 2 points back of the Panthers. I believe they have the regulation, or the Panthers have the regulation win tiebreaker, but the Senators have the regulation overtime tiebreaker. So at this point, Florida owns the tiebreaker. So they'll have to get 1 point ahead. But Ottawa's in a good position to do it. The funny thing is the Leafs play the Panthers tomorrow, which is Tuesday. So do the Leafs purposefully try and lose out, like drop, not play everybody, because they go, we don't want Florida to lose? Do we want to get Florida or do we want to get Ottawa in round 1? I don't think anybody's actually doing that, but it is a funny way of looking at it. If I'm playing a video game, I might be like, yeah, let's just try to lose that one. I don't want to play that team. Let's go play Ottawa.
Listen, I don't think anybody wants to play Tampa Bay first round.
And
if you're Toronto, man, who gives a rip?
Yeah. If you're Toronto, you just got to keep on winning and avoid playing the Lightning. The one thing they haven't been able to do is win their division. Mm-hmm. Do something different. I think it's a different level of hope, possibility, what have you. So I think that would be an important victory for that team, seeing as they've never been able to do it. The last time they won their division was like, aside from the Canadian division, was like 2000.
Doesn't count.
The COVID Canadian division thing, it doesn't count. But yeah, only 2 division wins in the last 60 years. So hilarious. So how do you think all this is going to shake out? Is Florida going to figure this out and win enough games to keep them there, or are they truly tanking?
No, I just think, you know what, their injuries piling up right now on that team. And obviously with Barkov, with Tkachuk, right, all those injuries that guys they don't have in the lineup. And we know Ekblad's not there, right? He's suspended. For me, I don't think it's so much that they're tanking. It's just that they're out of rhythm, right? And so you've got different guys slotted in different positions. You're moving guys up, changing lineups constantly night in and night out. And I think for any team, no matter how good you are, there's a little bit of, I guess, lack of, because we don't have the same kind of practices we used to have, right, 20 years ago. A lot more optional skates these days. So I think for guys to have that instant chemistry, right, where you expect, we can put any 3 guys together on a top line, and they're just going to go out there and be successful. And I don't think that's always the case with some players, especially maybe you look at a few years back, Jonathan Huberdeau in Florida, right? If you took him off Barkov's wing, typically it wasn't there as much as maybe when he was on the wing. For me, I just think, again, there's just a lot of injuries. And at this point in the season, too, I just don't think Florida has the drive to just say, you know what, we have to finish in second place. We have to get home ice. I don't think they give a rip. They just want to go out. They just want to get a good couple skates in. They want to be healthy and be ready to go in the playoffs, because that's for them, right? You've had 2 straight years going to the Stanley Cup Finals, and I think...
And one of those years they went to the final is the second wild card spot.
So
not like it made a difference to them.
To them, they just want to be healthy. They're just going to kind of coast in, if I can say that. And whether they finish in a wild card or whether they finish in third place, they don't care. They're going to get in, and that's all that matters to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think more for them than anything else, they don't really care. Also, you have to consider, like, the pressure there is going to be as low as it could be. Like, yes, there's, all right, we still have a good team. We want to make a run, but you went to the Stanley Cup Finals. You won the Stanley Cup. There is a lot more pressure on other teams, i.e. the Maple Leafs. There's no team with more pressure on them in the Eastern Conference than the Leafs. Maybe from an internal fan perspective, like the Carolina Hurricanes might be in a similar boat because they have never been able to get over the hump, and yet they've been contenders every year. Similar vibe, but like the pressure, obviously, in Carolina versus Toronto, it's just not the same. And that's no knock on Carolina. It's just Toronto is psychotic. And they've been losing for a long time. Carolina has a Stanley Cup in the last 3 generations' lifetime, whereas the Leafs 67. So I think that's what's making the big difference there. There's a lot of pressure on the Leafs. Panthers, there's no pressure. Even Tampa, to an extent, I know that they would love, I'm sure, to just get back and be able to say, hey, we're contending again. We're here. We did not just go away, but there still isn't the same kind of pressure. Like, they've recently won several times.
Yeah, so. And I think Florida, too, is taking a page out of their book and saying, look, Tampa went 3 Stanley Cups in a row, and we saw the exhaustion. So let's finish the season out a little bit. Let's take it easy, right? So let's not go in and kill ourselves.
But there is that. So Tkachuk is hurt.
Yeah.
And I think he's legitimately hurt. Like, I think there's obviously over the years, we've experienced some LTIR finagling where it's, he's not ready for the last game of the season, but he will be ready 3 days later when we can activate him for the playoffs, and it doesn't cost us anything. It doesn't cause us to lose anything. So but I do think that there's been more involvement, from what I understand, from the league of, you need to prove that this guy needs to be on LTIR. So I do think, at least when it comes to Matthew Tkachuk, I think he's legitimately hurt. I don't know what Matthew Tkachuk you're getting round 1, game 1. So if you don't get the Matthew Tkachuk that you have, that's led you to the finals, that's helped you win a Stanley Cup, he's the driver. He is the driver of the bus there.
And I think that's part of the reason they got Brad Marchand, too, because they knew they weren't going to get 100% Matthew Tkachuk. They wanted another agitator there with Sam Bennett, and maybe you get a little bit of Brad Marchand and you get 70% Matthew Tkachuk. And
really the funniest thing ever, if the Panthers go play the Leafs in the first round and the Leafs are just stuck playing against Brad Marchand again. Like, they can't escape him.
That would be, I didn't even think about that. That would be fun.
The Leafs are like, if the Leafs go and they lose to Florida, I don't care which Florida team it is, if they lose to Tampa or Florida in the first round or the second round here, then they are truly the Winnipeg Jets of the 80s, where they just kept playing the Oilers. And it was like, man, this Winnipeg Jets team's good, but they're not the Oilers. Just would get crushed.
Oh, we got a team in the West that's going to go probably through the Oilers a 4th time, man.
Yeah, true. The LA Kings maybe are the modern day Winnipeg Jets from
and this is why I don't care what you think about the current format, but for me, I can't stand it just because of this, right? I like the whole building rivalry thing, but this isn't building the kind of rivalries. To me, it's almost getting irritating seeing the LA Kings play the Oilers all the time, because you're not developing that rivalry at this point. It's not forced. These teams don't hate each other as far as what I see on the ice. So
yes,
it's just, you're just stuck playing the same team again. So great, cool. We get to see McDavid again, first round.
Now, if we had a true 1-8-2, I know there's only 2 divisions now, so it's hard to It's hard to say how they would do the playoffs differently, because when they were doing the 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, there were 3 divisions in each conference. So the 3 division winners got the top 3 seeds. But yeah, it would be Colorado, LA, and then Edmonton would, instead of playing LA, they'd just play Vegas in the first round. That's how it would be right now. There's almost no cakewalks. Like, I think I remember when I was like, even maybe when we started our show, like 2017, there were a few times where it was just like, that's an easy, like, we know who's going to win. Like last year when it was, what was it, New York and Washington? It was like, it's a no-brainer. We know who's going to win. Does anyone else look at Washington, Montreal, round 1 and go, I don't know if that's going to go I don't know if Washington's just going to walk all over the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, assuming that they're the team that gets in, right? I mean, I just look at the way Lane Hutson's playing, the way
what other teams getting in.
I'm still hopeful that maybe the Rangers can pull something off, but
not even your own team, not even the Red Wings.
Listen, I'm not.
Red Wings do play Montreal tomorrow night, a must win for the Wings. I did the
schedule is brutal though.
Yes, dude, they're playing like every division winner for the rest.
That's why I'm not picking them.
I did the math. And when they were at 74 games played, which they've now won 2 in a row, so they've done their business so far. But the math was they had to win all the rest of their games, which would be 8 in a row, and that would put them at 91 points, which 91 points right now. Montreal's got 5 games left to go. They would only be getting 6 points out of a possible 10. So Montreal's won 5 in a row. They've probably upped that number. Now it's probably 92, 93. So it's probably not likely the Wings get in, but a must win against Montreal. Must win in regulation.
Yes, that's the key.
That should be a game where if the game is tied, you pull your goalie in the third period.
I wouldn't hate it. Wouldn't hate that move.
There's no reason not to. Might as well. That's one game I'll be tuning into. I think that'll be a fun one.
That will be, yeah. But
Montreal looks for the dagger.
But back to Montreal and Washington. Honestly, the only thing that doesn't scare me in Montreal right now is their goaltending. Because honestly, I really don't even know who's going to start it. Yeah, probably Montembeault. He's not playing that great. Where I'm looking at him and he's the clear, defined starter. This could be another situation where we have a Carey Price playing backup role and upset the Washington Capitals, putting up 50 shots against the backup goaltender there. And,
I believe that was Yaroslav Halak.
It was, yeah. I was going to ask you that, so I appreciate the reference there.
Yeah,
but, I
mean, remember that because there was this stupid song to that, like Lady Gaga, and it was like Yaroslav Halak, you bring the Stanley Cup, Yaro. That's the only that's my dinger. Helps me remember who was in goal for Montreal Canadiens in 2009. You know, what are those like audio? What are those? You come up with a song to help you remember something. What are those called?
Yeah, but
a something gram or something. I don't know.
Okay, I believe you.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, but regardless, man, Montreal is still scary. And if the Rangers get in, right, say by some miracle they pull it off and they get in, do you really want to face the Rangers too in round 1? Because they could be dangerous. We know Shesterkin can steal a series, so
it's true.
It's
mnemonic device. That's what it's called.
Mnemonic device. I like it.
Yes. And no, am I trying to say that Washington isn't favored? No. Like, of course, Washington's the favorite going in that round. Washington should win. But if Montreal goes and pushes them to 6 or 7 games, I don't think it would really shock anybody. The way that they're playing right now. Like, they're coming in as hot as anyone. And let's face it, they've been in record mode. Let's just get the record. They've had first place locked up for 6 weeks. Hasn't even been close. So I think that's just where that first round, you get that team that's been they've been playing playoff hockey for 2 months.
That's the thing, right?
Yep. You might have an advantage early on in that series. But yeah, that's really the only one. What do you want first round? Carolina, New Jersey. Good luck with that one. Like Toronto and Ottawa might, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a Leafs fan and I am thoroughly disappointed all the time. So I'm like, great, we're gonna play Ottawa and we're gonna lose.
Allmark, man, Allmark can steal a game or two.
Could.
So
yep, he could. And
there's another Boston guy coming back to haunt you. So
sure, no matter where you go, you're playing an old Boston guy. Let's go over to the Western Conference, because there are some, I think for the most part, the playoffs are set. Like maybe Minnesota and Calgary, there's a little race there. Calgary's got a couple games in hand. They could come within 2 points. It's still a possibility. I just don't know if I see that quite happening. But is there any team you want to play less than St. Louis if you're in the Western Conference?
they're the hottest team in the NHL. Why would you want to play them? My God.
12 in a row. 12 in a row. That's something you don't see even every season, a team winning that often. And right now they would play the Vegas Golden Knights in round number 1. How do you feel about that matchup if you're Vegas?
Boy, I guess as long as you're healthy, right? That's the key. As long as you're coming in healthy, I think I can pretty much go goalie for goalie in that matchup. And if I'm Vegas, right, you've got the pedigree, you've won, right? There's not many guys left on that Blues team that are Stanley Cup winners. I think a majority of them have gone elsewhere, or at least the key players. Yeah. But you still got enough key players in Vegas that I think they still know what to do.
It's all about Binnington anyways.
Yeah, I would still pick Vegas, but again, similar to Montreal and Washington, it wouldn't shock me if we go 6 or 7 with this one.
It's not like Vegas isn't playing great too. 8-2 in their last 10. Same with LA, 8-2 in their last 10. A couple teams that are having some great runs here. Are you? I guess when it comes to that Edmonton, because it's going to happen now, right? Edmonton and LA are going to play each other. Sorry. I guess the one thing is that now LA has home ice advantage is likely, I think, to happen. 4 points up with 6 games left. That's going to be a tough hole to climb out of for the Oilers. And it's almost like they don't, they maybe don't care, but also they're not healthy. So they're more worried about being healthy for game 1. Let's get Leon back. Let's get Connor back. Let's get the gang back. So for the Oilers, I think it's just a float station right now. You got to go maybe win 2 out of the next 6 games, and you're guaranteed in. You're good to go.
Yeah, they're getting in. They're no doubt. But boy, I mean, the health thing is right. What worries me if I'm an Edmonton Oilers fan more than anything else. Gosh, I've just been watching Connor McDavid closely over the last few weeks because he has completely effed my fantasy team. We won't talk about that. Ended up finishing 4th because of him. But my question is for this Edmonton team, are you confident and I feel like we say this almost every year with Edmonton, but are you confident going to Stuart Skinner this year?
Nope.
Are we going to talk about Calvin Pickard coming in?
You're going to. You've got to. Guess you're giving him a shot. You never addressed it. Right. It was the one damn thing that you should have done is address the goaltending, and you never did. So
they spent all this money on guys like Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson, and Arvidsson's been fine. Skinner's been hot garbage. Again, they go and they make a move. They bring in a guy like Jake Wallman at the deadline, which looks fine.
Good move, yeah. I guess what you're thinking is Stuart Skinner's good enough if we can just get our defense up to snuff.
You had to. I guess maybe the price for a legit guy who you look at and say is this guy's better than Stuart Skinner. Maybe that price was too high for you to want to pay, or you were willing to pay, but the options out there this offseason, right? If he fails again, they're not much greater in free agency. So you're still going to, I think if you're going to upgrade that position at any point, really, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to give up a big asset, whether that's a prospect, a first round or something to get in a quality goaltender. Because if you go to free agency,
not doing that now.
Right.
They have who they have.
Yeah. And free agency, the only option is you bring in a guy like maybe Ville Husso, who's been playing 3rd string in Anaheim, right? To come and be your veteran backup. But that's not much better than Calvin Pickard in my mind. So you're not improving at all.
Nope. Hey, Justin, this NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going, but that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out and games left for you to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. You just try betting on something simple. Pick a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers, you bet $5 and you get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code THPN That's code THPN. That's the Hockey Podcast Network for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in New York. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 160 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. NHL and NHL team marks are the property of the NHL and its teams. Copyright NHL 2025, all rights reserved.
It's time to turn your daydream into your dream job. Wix gives you the power to turn your passion into a moneymaker with a website that fits your unique vision and drives you towards your goals. Let your ideas flow with AI tools that guide you, but give you full control and flexibility. Manage your business from one dashboard and keep it growing with built-in marketing features. Get everything you need to turn your part-time passion into a full-time business. Go to Wix.com.
In the Champions League quarterfinals, every decisive moment gives you goosebumps.
I get those goosebumps every time.
Arsenal have been ruthless.
The UEFA Champions League quarterfinals. Stream every match live, exclusively on Paramount+.
And now as we jump back into the playoff races, you can, hey, DraftKings, there they are, up there. We're glad to be a part of the Hockey Podcast Network. The other one I wanted to talk to you about was the Colorado Avalanche and who they will play in round one, because that is seemingly the dagger, right? Like, I will take Minnesota over Colorado about any damn day, especially the way that things have been going in Minnesota. They have looked like a shell of what the team they were when they were really rolling earlier in the season. Winnipeg obviously has the 3-point stranglehold on the division, but Dallas is pushing 7-1-2 in their last 10. They want that division lead probably more than anyone else in the entire league. Like Leafs, Panthers, Tampa, all that whole thing, it pales in comparison. Like, who wants to play the Colorado Avalanche right now, who seemingly might be the best team in the Western Conference after the trade deadline? What do you think? Where do you think this is all going to end up? 5 games left.
Oh, I think it's going to be Dallas and Colorado. I mean, it seems inevitable. I think Winnipeg, like you said, why the hell would they want to play? Why the hell would they want to play these guys? I'm doing everything I can to avoid that. And listen, locking up.
Listen, they play each other. They play each other on Thursday. It's a happy birthday for me. That's going to be a good game. Dallas, Winnipeg.
That is going to be a good game. Yeah.
I mean, that's it, right? Whoever wins that game is going to be in a really nice position to jump. Winnipeg wins that game. I think we're all pretty okay. Winnipeg got the division. Dallas wins it. Suddenly there's some questions because Dallas gets to play Vancouver tomorrow. Then they play Winnipeg. Then they get Utah, Detroit, and Nashville. So they win that game. I mean, there's a good chance they win all 5 going forward.
It's true. Yeah.
Couldn't be an easier schedule to close out the year.
Bottom line is their additions have been fantastic. Brock Nelson looks invincible, in my opinion. He's winning faceoffs. He's putting up points. He's playing both ends of the ice. 17 minutes, not slowing down. This is a guy that is showing why he was picked for Team USA in the 4 Nations right now. I think is the way he's cementing his second line status on this Avs team for me. And Charlie Coyle looks great. He's getting only 13 minutes a night on average for a guy that's only getting that kind of ice time, second PP unit time.
That's perfect.
Exactly. Perfect for him. And they're doing all this without guys like Samuel Girard, Jonathan Drouin. They've got injuries still. So they get healthy and they get all these guys back. Now you're talking about a team that literally has 3 legit top four defensive lines where you could put their third line, even their number 7 defenseman, probably in a top 4 somewhere else in the league. And they've got 3 solid forward lines that can roll just night in and night out. Martin Necas has been looking pretty good.
Yeah.
It's slowing down a little bit lately. Obviously, he's got the injury going on right now, but
and Justin Landeskog might come back for the playoffs. Like, it's actually looking, from what I understand, it is not if he comes back for the playoffs. It's just going to be when he comes back to the playoffs.
Okay.
He's coming back. He's going to play.
Yeah.
That's
Dangerous
terrifying.
player right
Like,
there.
that's terrifying. Now, I don't know what player you're getting. No one does. Even if you go, he looks good in practice, I don't care. Show me what he can do in real life.
Yeah, I'm going to stick him on my third line with Charlie Coyle, but that's still terrifying if you're any team, right? You got to go play this guy even at 70%. Terrifying.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what kind of speed he brings to the table and how willing he is to be Gabriel Landeskog. That's obviously, and maybe that you could say that's why he's taken so much time off, because he hasn't felt like that. And I imagine if he's going to come back, he's going to feel like at least pretty darn close to himself. When he comes back, and it's just wild. There's so many things with injuries that help a team right now because you can hold that extra slot open for a guy come playoff time. It's very helpful. But that first round is just going to be deadly. There's going to be a lot of good teams that get knocked out in the first round on both sides of the conferences. And that's what makes the first round so fun.
It is. And so irritating at the same time. And that's also why lately obviously there's been a lot of talk about the attention the NHL has been getting because of the OV chase. That's over with. But we talk about viewers, right? I think lately the numbers have shown that people are gravitating more towards the NHL and away from basketball, right? Because when you talk about playoffs, you watch the NBA and those first rounds are stinkers every single time because there's a 6, 7, 8 team that didn't even finish 500 and they're in the playoffs and they're hot garbage. But here in the NHL, we get the luxury of having a team in the A spot that could legit be a Stanley Cup contender.
There's some solid teams all throughout. And the question tends to come up like the league could have a wild card round or something like that where there's a couple more teams make the playoffs. And sometimes you look at it and you go, yeah, I could see like that, maybe that ninth slotted team, it would have been nice for them to get the opportunity. But let's look at last year. Everyone was hot garbage like that Eastern Conference especially was just no one wanted to make the playoffs. There wasn't anyone where you went, oh, like Detroit. I know they tied Washington in points. They just didn't have the tiebreaker. Detroit only won 27 out of 82 games in regulation. They were not a good team. And then what was the next team would have been Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh didn't deserve to make the playoffs that year either. Like you look at it this year, the Rangers, unless they go on some crazy run, they don't deserve to be in the play. Like they don't deserve an extra little slot for the season that they've had. Neither do the Red Wings. Like maybe the one team you could point at is Calgary. You go, Calgary they're a team that could be in the playoffs and they maybe could perform well. They've got a good enough team, but Vancouver, you want to see Vancouver in the playoffs? No, they're terrible. Yeah, you look at Utah and you go, oh, they had a nice little run here at the end, but they're not a playoff team. They're not good.
Yeah, but I love that unpredictability the NHL has, right? We looked at Calgary at the beginning of this year. They were shipping off every asset.
Yes.
And we looked at them and we're like, you know what? They're going to finish at the bottom, and now they're pushing for a playoff spot. Yep. They look like a dangerous team if they were to get in. Wolf is obviously, in my opinion, the rookie of the year, but no offense to Lane Hudson fans. But yeah.
There's no way Lane Hudson doesn't win it. Sorry.
I agree with you. There's no way he doesn't get it at this point, too. But
defense, he's given 60 points. You got to give it a rookie defenseman with 60 points. You're giving him the Calder.
Oh, I get it.
Especially that you can look at him and say, Montreal probably isn't in the playoffs without him. And that is a rarity. That's a rarity for a rookie to come in and put his team into the playoffs. That neither one of us had Montreal sniffing the playoffs this year.
And again, that's the great unpredictability of the NHL is teams like that can make a couple moves. They get young guys that come in and just surprise the hell out of you. And next thing you know, this team's a contender, right? So I love that. And that's what I think, again, Montreal fans love this year. They're enjoying that kind of unpredictability where I think maybe coming in, you're like, our team's going to be middle of the road. We're going to be playing for a lottery pick again. And then now you're like, oh, shit, we can buy some playoff tickets. All right, this is awesome. That's what you want, right? If you're an NHL fan, you want to see a random team that, again, maybe you weren't thinking of getting in at the beginning of the year.
Especially if it's Montreal. I'm not a Montreal fan as a Leafs fan. There's a little rivalry.
No way.
But the playoffs are better when the Bell Center is rocking.
Oh, for sure.
Those games are just fun to watch. I don't care who they're playing. Like, it's just going to be hype, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I mean, there's certain teams where you go, it's just better when they're in the playoffs. Like, it's better when Detroit's in the playoffs. It's a great place to watch playoff hockey. Honestly, it's probably a better place when, like, the Boston Bruins are in the playoffs. As much as I hate them, their fans care. And it's good when you have a lot of fans that care. And those buildings just going crazy. Any playoff race that you look at and you go, surprises left for you? Anything you think that's going to switch?
Surprises? I'm just shocked to see that Minnesota has slipped, I think, more than anything else this season. We were talking about them being a potential, like, locking up a number 2 spot in that division. They were holding pretty strong for a while. And then, man, the last couple of months, they've just slowly
worst home record in, I believe, in all of the playoffs.
And maybe that's what you want, right? Because, gosh, they're better on the road than they are at home. So
true, they're going to be on the road.
Yeah, why not start on the road?
I think that first round, Minnesota and Winnipeg, that's a beauty. Like, a lot of people don't realize the rivalry between those two teams. And
they're so close.
I think that one's going to be a fun series. As much as I'm not I don't really tune into a lot of Minnesota games on purpose, but I will be watching that series. That'll be a fun one. Oh, I wanted to mention before we get out of here a little bit of, I'll say, administrative news, because the NHL and the NHLPA have continued their CBA talks, which is very exciting because they're actually, from what I understand, they want to announce the CBA deal before the playoffs, or maybe it was before the Stanley Cup Finals or before the play. When is it that Gary Bettman talks to the media? Is that before the finals?
Oh,
Is that before the playoffs?
Yeah,
it's
it is
before
right
playoffs
before the
start, I think. I think it's before the playoffs.
I'm gonna look it up.
So I think they're really trying to do it to where it's like, we're done. I think, let's see. Bettman said, "I'm hoping we can do this quickly, quietly, and painlessly," which is wonderful news. I'm sure that there's some negotiation to be had, but it's the beautiful thing. When you get to 50-50, you get half, we get half. There's not really anywhere else to go. No one's coming to the table going, we actually don't want you to have 50% anymore. We want even more. No one's going to be on board for that. So I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think they're on the same page about the Olympics now. And I don't know what things are going to snag them up. But I'm sure, there'll be little changes to the cap and whatnot, escrow or something. But seems like they're all on the same page and they want to get it done quickly, which is wonderful news for two kids that have been scarred by lockouts throughout their childhood and early adulthood. We've seen 95, 2005, or 4, and then 2013. Lots of games lost.
Imagine where we'd be if Alex Ovechkin had that 13 season back.
And the 2005 season. That would have been his rookie year.
Yep.
Would have been his rookie year. Yeah, you could say the same about, imagine if Yager didn't go to Russia for 3 years. What would have happened? Who knows? Anyways, yes. So I'm excited that the NHL and the NHLPA, it's like, this kind of came up. I was listening to something. They're like, yep, they're talking. I was like, oh, that's wonderful. As I don't like, the last thing I want to think about. And the game's growing. More and more people are watching hockey. So I think it's a great thing that is going to be out of the way and not be any news. Like, it shouldn't be. It should never be news. It should be like, hey, you're rich, we're rich. Let's keep being rich together. How about that? And of course, one last thing. Our Putin congratulated Ovechkin on his goal record. So that's one of the top stories. Putin congratulates Ovechkin on outstanding NHL goal record.
Now let's hear the rebuttal from Trump, where he comes back and he says, "Oh, he did that in our league, in our capital city." And
oh gosh, Okay. Oh, boy.
By the way, Gary Bettman last year was June 10th, right before the finals.
Okay, so it is before the finals. All right, yep. I knew it was one of those two. He does his little meet with the media and take their questions and whatnot. So, yes, before the Stanley Cup Finals. That's good work. Good work looking that up. All right, that is our show. You can find us on all the things on X and Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at OT Hockey Talk. Yeah, it's down there. And yes, thanks for listening. Subscribe to the show. And until next time, keep on watching those playoff races. Talk to you later.
No offense, but your brain is a terrible place to keep your big idea. It belongs in the world, but you know that already. You have a calling, a voice that says, this is what I'm meant to do. Create the website your big idea deserves with Wix. Make it your own with top-to-bottom customization, AI to help realize your vision, and built-in business tools to turn your daydream into your dream job. Wix supports every stage of the business journey except one. Your decision to begin. Ready? Go to Wix.com.
I get those goosebumps every time.
In the Champions League quarterfinals on Paramount Plus.
It's do or die, kill or be killed.
Every decisive moment gives you goosebumps.
Arsenal have been ruthless.
I get those goosebumps every time.
It's now or never. Survive and advance in the ultimate club soccer competition.
Real Madrid are through to the quarterfinals.
I get those goosebumps every
The
time.
UEFA Champions League quarterfinals. Stream every match live exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Pacifico is a Mexican lager brewed to be discovered. It's like fresh tracks on a powder day. Like that uncharted trail a stone's throw away. Like the perfect wave on a sunny day. Pacifico. Find your own way. 21 plus. Drink responsibly. Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
New markdowns up to 70% off are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Fresh kicks, spring tops, new dresses, there's always a score.
I mean, the denim section is unreal.
Why do I rack? All the dresses. I always find something amazing.
Head to your Nordstrom Rack store to find can't-miss deals on all the spring things. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Unplug your cleaning routine with the Ryobi 18-volt One Plus cordless cleaning lineup. From tackling bathroom tile with the soap-dispensing telescoping power scrubber, to cleaning wet and dry messes with the 2-in-1 Wet-Dry Swift Clean Stick Vacuum, to cleaning up pet hair and debris with our advanced stick vacuum, Ryobi has a solution for every cleaning task. And because one battery powers over 300 products, you have the power to do more. Visit ryobitools.com to learn more. Sold exclusively at the Home Depot.